You're never gonna see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need.
Can't never forget.
Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees.
I never forget.
Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed.
And they gotta get it.
Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
Woo.
You're now tuned in to Precept upon Precept.
Fruit so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression, never kill 'em. Breaking dreams, that is bitter. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept. We're on the 5 minutes behind. It's on me. Shout out to the Booster Club. Officer Micah, real quick, plug us the Booster Club. Y'all need to donate. We are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem, y'all.
Officer Micah.
Officer Mikayo.
Officer Akiem.
Like we do every show. Booster Club. Text GIVE to 646-982-3858 or hit the barcode. We're going to start off with Officer Micah and the Watchman Report. Take it away.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless, good evening. All praise to the Lord. We got a great show lined up. But first, we got some things that are going on throughout the world. First article, let's roll. San Diego mass shooters live streamed attack and wrote white supremacist manifesto, report. Scroll up just a little bit. Just a little bit. The suspect, widely named as Kane Clark, 17, and Caleb Vasquez, 18, first met online, the FBI said. Why did they say what their religious belief was? I guess they ain't gonna put that information out. And why are they talking about this all over the world? Guess it ain't that important, huh? Exclusive Pakistan deploys jet squadron, thousands of troops to Saudi Arabia during Iran war. I thought they were talking about peace. Scroll up. No peace, love, and hair grease. Look at that. That's the talks of peace right there. Fighter jets. Can't make it up. Next article. U.S. military conducts another strike against Iran. Check this out. After Trump says Iran is negotiating on fumes. I thought they were negotiating for peace. But yet, the military just keep launching strikes. Exclusive U.S. carries out new strikes in Iran against a military site and drones, officials say. Scroll up just a little bit. Just play just a little bit of that. Just a little bit. Unmute it. Come on.
Talk about election wins here at home as efforts for a peace deal with Iran remain stagnant. Here's a live look at the meeting with his top advisors, which comes as Iran accuses the U.S. of a, quote, grave violation of the ceasefire. The Pentagon said it launched defense strikes this week on targets in southern Iran, including missile launch sites in Iranian boats attempting to lay mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran slammed
So wait a minute.
strikes.
Did y'all catch that? They are attempting to lay mines in the Strait of Hormuz. I thought they were talking about a ceasefire and a peace agreement. Play on. It's only 1 minute.
As a ceasefire violation and has hinted it may retaliate as a result. President Trump insists Iran wants a deal.
Is very much intent. They want very much to make a deal. So far, they haven't gotten there. We're not satisfied with it, but we will be. We will be either that or we'll have to just finish the job.
Yesterday, Iranian state TV released
He said
footage
we're just going
claiming-
to have to finish the job. Either they take the deal or we're just going to keep bombing them. But either way, we're going to finish the job. Play on.
to show a U.S. drone that its forces shot down. And this morning, an Iranian official says the issue of its enriched uranium stockpile is, quote, not on the agenda of the negotiations, end quote, with the United States.
Was that the last article? One more. Get the next one. Okay. U.S. will need years. Listen to this. U.S. will need years to replenish stockpiles of advanced weapons used in Iran war. New analysis finds. Scroll up just a little bit. Come on, play a little bit, just a little bit.
To replenish those supplies. This is according to two U.S. War with Iran pushes U.S. munition stock to dangerously low levels. The Defense Department has not yet signed any new contracts to replenish those supplies. This is according to two U.S. officials and two people familiar with this matter.
All of it coming after President Trump rejected Tehran's latest counterproposal to end the war. But
so
I
just want that part right there. They rejected the proposal to end the war. They rejected it. So y'all need to come out the bubble. Pay attention to what's going on in the world because things are heating up, and this war is not slowing down. So this concludes the Watchman Report.
You are now flying.
Praise to the Most High, all praises. Yes, sir. So we have Officer Mikael. We can hear on the other screen. Tonight's show is called Lebanon, the new Gaza Arab anger Amasses. So we want to break that down and tell us a little bit about that thumbnail.
So obviously we have a silhouette of Donald Trump in the middle with the American flag mixed with the Israeli flag because Israel is America. Big Satan and Little Satan, as they call them. And in the forefront, you have a secret meeting of Arab and Iranian leaders as they're strategizing to cause chaos against Israel. And as you see, the Middle East is in turmoil right now. That is a depiction of Lebanon being bombed. You got your citizens that are all in an uproar trying to evacuate. Some are upset and ready to go to war because that's what's going on right now.
Right, exactly. And if you look in the back, I don't know, you might have said it in the back, you have, when you look at the ones that have the black and white garb on their head, and then you have the other ones with the red. And so they're united. They're different flags. I like that, the way they did that. It's showing you the Arabs eventually. Give me that second Ezra. The Arabs are going to unite. And it's not going to be we go over this all the time, and this is why the importance of us watching and praying and looking at the news. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse, I think it's 28, 29.
Yes, sir. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 29.
We have to look at where are we at in prophecy. Well, we know that the World War III has not come yet because the Arabs are divided. For example, the states of the GCC, the Gulf. Matter of fact, real quick, before we do that, pull up GCC. We're going to read the scripture, but pull up GCC. This is very important and get me a map of the Persian Gulf. We have to keep going back to the map of the Persian Gulf and the GCC countries because the GCC countries are going to come up again tonight. The GCC, when you think of that, think of Arab puppets for Esau. That's who they are, okay? Yes. Read that.
GCC countries. The Gulf Cooperation Council consists of 6 member states located on or near the Arabian Peninsula: Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates.
So they do give us a little map right there Do we have another map? If we could blow that up, that'd be fine. That'd be just fine like that. Because it's important to understand that big hook, it looks like the letter, looks like kind of like the state of Louisiana. Well, get a better one. That's fine. Because when you look at this, that used to be one couple series of people out there, and Esau divided all that. How the hell is Esau over there in that land when it's all Arabs? So look, so that peninsula is comprised of, the bulk of it is Saudi Arabia. You have Yemen at the bottom, which, scroll down. Can you scroll down? Possibly. Don't want, forget it. It's too much. Actually, there you go. Thank you, Officer Nehemiah. Appreciate that. This is why Yemen is so important. Nobody gives a damn about Eastern Yemen. Everyone cares about the corner. That right there between that, and I think it's Intria, that opens up the Red Sea, the Strait of Al-Bab, whatever it is. That's why there's so much controversy there. That's why, I got a little bit later on, Trump is talking about if Oman, I think Micah brought it up, if Oman doesn't cooperate, we're just going to bomb the hell out of them. They're not going to bomb southern Oman. They're going to bomb Oman that's right near the Strait of Hormuz. Esau is who he is. So that huge boot from Saudi Arabia, that is the Arab Peninsula. When you look at Iran, when you look at, and then Pakistan, that's all on the actual inland. And that's like that professor, I think is G, talked about how Iran has the utmost military advantage. So just keep that in mind as we talk about tonight about Lebanon, because Lebanon is getting destroyed right now. It's important because the Arabs are looking at everything. Okay, go back.
You want the scripture?
Yes, please, please.
2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 28.
This is all review.
Behold, in horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east.
From the Middle East, read on.
Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
Put that world map up. No, but the first map that you did was perfect. That first map you put up, it shows all the Arab countries which are Genesis calls the princes of Ishmael, the sons of Ishmael. That's the one right there. Put that. That's beautiful. So these are the countries, as a matter of fact, Egypt, most of Egypt from probably, well, northern Egypt is Arab. Jordan is Arab. Palestine was Arab up until 1948, by the way, 1947. Syria, Arab. Parts of Turkey. Well, Turkey's all Islam, Muslim. Some Arabs are in parts of Turkey. Iraq is all Arab. Kuwait, Arab. Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman. All of that Arabian Peninsula, that's what they call it. All of that is Arab. And guess what? Look at the Iran is a huge country, 90 million people. Iran is the Carmanians. They are going to be a key, and I'm saying it again, they're not going to bring in World War III. They're going to be the key. They're going to say, I bet you the Arabs are going to say, how did Iran standing up against these devils? And all of us, as a billion of us, and we couldn't do what they're doing? Watch, Iran is going to be a gleam of hope for unity for the Arabs. Read on.
Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia
we just listed all those. And by the way, Qatar. Look at Qatar. Qatar and the United Arab Emirates are very important because look at Dubai. As soon as you turn the Strait of Hormuz, look at that city. That's a world city. Huge economy, right? All of that depends, that Arab Peninsula depends on oil money from puppet Arab dictators that are kept in power through U.S. military force. That's why the largest base in all of that region is in Bahrain. It's a U.S. Navy, I think the 5th Fleet or something like that, 6th Fleet. The little island, click on the little island, Bahrain. We're just reviewing. Best you can. Leave it on. Look at Qatar, y'all at home. Look at the orange Qatar. Bahrain's that little teeny island, Manama. That's the capital. That is a huge, active still, U.S. Navy base. With the U.S. Navy, guess what? The U.S. Army's there. Guess what? The U.S. Marines are there. That is very pivotal. So keep that in mind. Keep this in mind as we teach this class. Go back to the first one. Just want to touch base. Mike, please say it at any time. Jump in.
Yes, sir.
Brothers, jump in. Get me the first article. Or is it a video?
Finish verse 29.
Nope. So thank you. And that map is a good map. I like that map. So this is what's going on right now in Lebanon. Get your map. When I hear Lebanon, get your map on Lebanon, get your map on Israel, get all of that ready. We're going to show you that's happening this week, okay? It's funny because as I'm coming up for the title for the show, you're going to start seeing they're literally doing what they're doing to Lebanon, what they did to Gaza. It literally is the same thing. Play.
Across then live to Jerusalem, talk to our correspondent Noga Tarnopolsky, who joins us from there. Noga, just first of all, bring us up to date with what the latest that you're hearing of the situation on the ground, can you?
What we know is that it is a major operation given the fact that we are supposedly in a ceasefire and fire is going both directions. As we speak, Stuart, there are again sirens sounding in northern Israel where one soldier who was killed yesterday will be buried today.
Pause real quick. This is what I can't stand. So one Israeli soldier dies and he gets national news. They just killed 150 Palestinians or more last week. How come nobody brought up their name? No one gives a damn about the black men that are dying in gangs in Chicago. This shows you Esau runs the entire earth. Don't get me wrong, it's wrong when U.S. soldiers die. Let one U.S. soldier die, it's going to make the international news. Meanwhile, these Arabs are dying by the thousands. No one gives a damn. Okay? It's ridiculous. Jump in any time, y'all.
Cap, they still looking for bodies in Gaza.
Right.
And they ain't even talking about that. They still pulling them, moving rubble out of the way. They still trying to recover bodies in Gaza, and nobody's even speaking on it.
Hey, Officer Michael brought up a hell of a point. Pull up, what is the death toll as of May 28th, 2026 in Gaza? And then I'm going to let you speak on that because guess what? That's what they report. 80% of the city is destroyed. You trying to tell me there's not tens of thousands of bodies that they can't get to? To your point, get that stat, and then let Micah get into that. Get into it because you brought up a good point.
As of May 2026, the official directly reported death toll from the Gaza Health Ministry has surpassed 72,600 Palestinians killed since October of 2023, with over 172,000 injured. However, authoritative epidemiological. Okay, we got that.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Independent studies, including rigorous peer-reviewed research in the Lancet, estimate the actual violent death toll is much higher, ranging between 75,000 and 93,000 when accounting for unrecorded bodies and indirect excess deaths.
Right.
That's close to almost 100,000 people let's even up 100,000. They're not even talking about this. They're not even explaining what's going on with all these bodies that they probably still haven't found. And they're not allowing them to go into Israel. And that's just, think about the people that tried to flee and go into Israel from the bombs. They were probably shooting them down right there in front of it. So they really had no way to escape. But they're not talking about all these Palestinians that got bombed over there in Gaza. They're not talking about that.
Put that statistic up again because I think it's over 100,000. Oh, yeah. And if they on their peer review study think it's up to 93,000, so that is 20,000 more. So you're trying to tell me that the peer review wouldn't say that it's more than 172,000 injured, and that injuries, it could be over 200,000, and the injuries are not a cut, a paper cut, or a third-degree burn. They're maimed injuries that alter their entire life. They're going to have PSD the rest of their lives. So, and by the way, pull up the population of Gaza in January 2023. These Edomites killed or injured 1/10 of the population of Gaza. I'm going to prove it. It's probably more than that. Pull up what was the population in Gaza as of January 1st, 2023. Okay, now, watch this. So let's go back to what you had before, and we're going to estimate in the high side because I believe that is true. So get your calculators out, one of you guys. I want you to put two up because I believe it's more than 200,000 people that are injured. Let's put 200,000 people that is injured. Let's go ahead and make it even 100,000 people that die. So 300,000 people seriously injured or died or higher. Divide 2.23 million by 300,000. It's going to give you it's going to be like 12 or 13%. It's going to be crazy. Watch this. We're taking the estimations, which I know that they're underestimating. Even the study shows it. So we're going to make it 300,000 people that have been injured and or killed. And let's compare that to the population percentage-wise in 2023 before it started. Watch, this is going to astound you. Can someone pull that? I'll do it myself. Just take 2 point and your calculator. Anyone that's sitting on this up here on this, you can't do that.
It's
come on, man.
2.23 million divided by 300,000. That is 7.4. It's saying 743.33%.
No, that's the wrong way. You got to do it another way. Because think about it. 300,000 of 3 million is 10%. 300,000 of 3 million. So it's more than that. And just if you can get the numbers, if you take what percentage is type this in. What percentage is 300,000 of 2.2 million, whatever the number was?
2.3 million.
Right, 2.3. I know it's got to be more than that. You know what? You're right. Because 300,000 would be 300,000 of 3 million would be 10%. Anyways,
it's 13.4%.
Exactly. Listen, Esau has killed or gravely imaged, and I think this is a low estimate, 13% of the population of Gaza. That doesn't include the people in the West Bank that they displaced. 13%. Let's put it in perspective. Do me a favor. I have to do this. Type in what is the population in New York City. Type in what is the population of New York City. Yep, I'm going to do it. And we're going to take 13% of that. And I want you to imagine 13%, that's a major city. Let's going to scale it up for New York.
It is 8.35 million to 8.58 million people.
Right. So I'm going to find a percentage. I'll do this. 8.6 million, and we're going to multiply that by 0.13. That's like killing or injuring 1.1 million, over 1,118,000 New Yorkers dead or injured. That's an absolutely absurd, crazy number. And the reason why I went off that tangent is because you'll have one IDF soldier, one U.S. soldier, which is wrong that U.S. soldiers die, and guess what? It's being reported. Meanwhile, this is why Esau has got a judgment, a special judgment from God. All right, I had to do that. Go back to the video.
And where civilians are simply not able to live normal lives. This entire situation, the ongoing incursion into Lebanon. Yesterday, the Israeli army did something that is almost unknown and simply declared the entirety of southern Lebanon a combat zone. This includes Christian villages that are normally considered allied with Israel.
Pause. When you look at the Jewish rabbis in their Talmud, right? They talk about the Jesus of the Bible being dunked in excrement. They don't believe in Jesus the Messiah. They talk ill about it. And it's amazing these evangelical Christian that support Zionism don't even know that the Jesus that they allegedly believe in, the Jewish men can't stand him and don't believe in him at all. It's amazing the level, and that's why God had to make it happen. The least of the flock, God knows exactly what he's doing. interest of time, let's go on to number 2. Just know that she said the entire southern border of Lebanon, they have declared it a war zone. That is a colonizing, occupying force with evil intentions. Even though they got Lebanese Christians, okay, they don't care. They're going to bomb them too.
Cap, even the news is not showing the full thing. They're showing a cleaned up version.
Right.
I sent a picture and a short video. This happened from the Israeli airstrike. Pull up the picture. It's blurred because it's very graphic. And this is, you have to get from, so this is from the Israeli airstrike, and that's a little girl.
They never show this. They
always
the victim. I'm glad you brought this out. They are always the victim.
This is from that same Israeli airstrike on Lebanon. This is a Palestinian girl.
Right.
And if you see the arm hanging.
Wow.
On the left side, that's a leg. That's a leg. So we can't show the video, but that's a leg. And there's other people that were being picked up that was blown up in that same airstrike.
So keep this in mind. Remember, it was an Instagram post. It showed a father piecing his children together with body parts. I was like, oh damn! I was surprised they showed it, because, and this is why they put all these restrictions on social media, because they were showing the real deal. And to also Micah's point earlier, here's the point: you are going to give numbers. I would not be surprised if there were as many untouchable or inability to excavate them from the ruins. There's probably tens of thousands of people dead, children, women, and after a while, I can imagine the smell of those sites. Here's the point. Put the thumbnail back up. Here's the point of this whole, while we're going into Lebanon. Because look at this picture. Matter of fact, you got to do it. Show a picture of Gaza 2026. It looks like it never was. It looks like something out of a movie like The Apocalypse. It does not look like it was inhabited in decades. You can, when we pull up these pictures of Gaza, we will see. Look at it. Look, look at 10 cities. Look at the destruction. It is hard to find standing habitable structures in Gaza. They did that to, remember, matter of fact, pull up the map of the Persian Gulf. Pull up the map of the Middle East. This is why and I keep saying the same thing. I'm telling you, I'm making a prediction. There's a reason why they are destroying Gaza. What is a geographic advantage of having Gaza? Is it for real estate? Really? Why don't they just go to an African country? They just go take that and have a beautiful coastline, or go to Argentina. Look at the coastline of South America. They could have all that. It's not. It's to control commerce. Esau is desperately wicked. They want to control oil. They want to control commerce, goods, and services. Pull up a map of the, yes. Remember, I did say to get all these maps ready. So, okay, I want
the other map.
Get a map of the Sinai Peninsula, or a map of I want you to see Egypt. That first map you had was really good. Let's look at Egypt. We're going to look at the peninsula called the Sinai Peninsula. To the left goes the Suez Canal. To the right, that's what they're going to use. Okay, that's a good map.
Zoom in on that part.
Perfect. Leave it right there. Leave it right there. Okay, if you look at the Egypt, right there is that little triangle called the the Sinai Peninsula. From that distance, where it says Suez, up to Port Said, that is a straight shot that leads from the Indian Ocean, Arabic Gulf of Aden, up through the Strait of Elbab, whatever it is, through the entire Red Sea, up through that land, which gets you to all the high-spending whites of Europe and all that hundreds of millions of people economy, right? Europe is huge economy. Germany, number 4 economy in the whole world. Watch this. If you conveniently destroy the Suez Canal after you finish digging, what's the most direct route? They're not going to go up to Jerusalem. Gaza borders what country? Friggin' Egypt. So, is that not save you billions and billions and billions of dollars if you can go miles and miles and miles to the west? That's good what they're doing it for. And we did a show a long time. Don't let nobody fool you. Did they really want it from the river to the sea? Yeah, they don't believe the Bible. Because Zion, a lot of Jewish Orthodox Jews are literally has been speaking out against Netanyahu throughout all over the world, but they just don't get any play in the media. Zionist Jews are being condemned by Orthodox, the big beard, yarmulke wearing Orthodox Jewish men. All right, they're all wrong, but they are condemning Zionism, which is the repatriation invented in 1917. Theodor Herzl, 1948, they implanted the Nakba and all that. Now, keep that in mind. It's a long rewind, long-winded. Remember that. Now, go back. Look at the pictures, because why is Lebanon important? Why is Lebanon important? Well, pull up a map of Lebanon, please. Like I did put it earlier. We want a map of Lebanon. Lebanon is an interesting country. It has a strategic advantage, not like Jordan and not like Syria. Look at Lebanon. Can we see it over here? Blow it up, please, and thank you. Lebanon. Lebanon, Lebanon, Lebanon. Can we get any closer than that? Possibly, maybe. Okay. Almost the entire, look at Lebanon. Look what it really does. Now it expands Israel. Look at now the almost more than 2/3 of the eastern Mediterranean shoreline, if they control that, is all controlled by Israel. Think about the ports you're going to need to set up. Think about controlling all that traffic that's going to come through that nice new canal. Wouldn't that be important to have all of that? Don't be surprised next when they want to beef with Turkey. Remember that I keep talking about Uruguay? Don't be surprised if they want to take Cyprus as well. Pull up a map of Cyprus. I didn't tell you about this one. Pull up a map of Cyprus. You're going to say, Captain Shem, we think you're wrong. Watch. Cyprus. This is just an educated guess. Cyprus, Cyprus, Cyprus. Interesting. Cyprus is off the coast. I believe it is claimed by Turkey. It is a huge port industry. And what a convenient asset that would be to gain Lebanon, create your new canal, and then now don't be surprised if you start seeing a bunch of turmoil in Cyprus. Just be very mindful. That's it, Cyprus. I wanted you to see in the sea. That's it. That map right there. Show Cyprus in the Mediterranean Sea. You know what I'm saying? I want them to see the picture.
The third one.
That right there. The bottom left. Bottom left is perfect, Asa. Right there, yes. Let's put it in perspective. This is a little geography. Yeah, all right, cool. So all of that off the coast of Lebanon, right there, that's coming next. All right, now, go to number 2. They're bombing the hell out of Lebanon. They cleared half, the bottom of the whole country is a war zone. Remember that. Number 2, please. Pause. 2 things. Number 1, it's happening during the daytime. Number 2, there is an alleged ceasefire. Give me that where it says, he make a covenant and he breaks it. Remember that one in Psalms? I can't remember the name of it.
Yes, sir, I got you. Psalms 55.
Esau whether he goes by the name German Caucasian, Dutch Caucasian, Spanish Caucasian, Jewish Caucasian, cannot and will not keep covenant with anybody, let alone their own people. Okay, that's why they had the French Revolution. They can't even keep a covenant with their own people. Read that.
Psalms chapter 55, verse 20.
That's the one.
He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
Because when the before 1948, 1947, Jewish people, it was a very small minority lived there, and they lived there by their own accounts. We had a video one time of a Jewish woman who was in her late 80s saying, before 1940, I called myself a Palestinian citizen. The Jewish people, who are not the Jews, the real Jews are right here on this stage. The real Jews are in South Africa, scattered in Caribbean island and the ghettos of Detroit. She acknowledged that it was the land of Palestine. They would live peacefully with the Arabs of Palestine. Esau cannot keep peace with anybody. They make treaties, they break it apart. Pull up the map of Israel. It gives you, matter of fact, the brothers just brought it for the last class. I think one of the deacons had it. It shows you 1948, 1940, and it shows you, yes, you're on point. Look at that. 1946, before the first Nakba, right? So this was 2 years before the implant. There was little pockets of Jewish people. 98, 97% was all Arabs, right? Look what they did in 1 year. Look at that. Look what they did from up until 1967. Look at that. And they really got to work quick on Gaza. By 1967, they made Gaza what it is. And look what they did since then. All those little pockets in the West Bank has been and they keep taking more and more and more to this day. And there's a wall that goes up from the bottom all the way up and throughout the whole country that separates. We showed you that before. Okay? Keep that in mind. You're going to see this map is good. This map, watch, keep that in mind. Now, I'm glad you have the map up. So if I'm digging a canal, right? And I don't own Gaza, and if I don't do what I want, I have to make my canal go all the way up around that green patch of Gaza. No, put it to the right. You got the right spirit, but go to the right. Look at the far right picture of Israel. There you go. That's the modern one. If you did a canal, you'd have to go up, and then you legally would have to go all around that green. That's miles and miles and miles and miles of extra digging. Now, you can put that canal right smack dab on the border of Egypt and Israel, which is going through Gaza. Keep that in mind.
Cap, the scripture you just brought, they literally doing that. It says, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. That's the ceasefire.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a ceasefire. In the media, in the news, and to the world, they're in talks. They're trying to bring peace. But he's breaking the covenant of the so-called ceasefire, and they're bombing without people knowing. And then they're smothering the media in the news. Every time they're doing something, notice Trump or the White House is allegedly under attack. So everybody is focused on that and not focused on Israeli still sending bombs.
Exactly. Go to number 3. So watch this. So she's going to go into the IDF illegal encroachment of the land. It's a quick YouTube short. This is inside southern Lebanon. This is not in. She's going to go into southern Lebanon. Watch this.
Eid is a time for family gatherings and celebrations in Lebanon. But this year, many are spending the holiday under the heaviest Israeli bombardment in weeks. Now, before dawn on Wednesday, Israel struck the town of Bekaa, and that's in the Nabatea district. And 2 homes were destroyed there. And this is a video of some of that aftermath. And people were also forced to flee Nabatea city. Now, strikes were also reported in Meifdoun in southern Lebanon, and also Burj al-Shamali, and there was heavy artillery between Zifta and Dar al-Zahrani, but also across southern Lebanon. Now, Lebanon's Ministry of Health has described the attacks as massacres. And late on Tuesday, Hezbollah said it had targeted 3 Israeli Merkava tanks and 2 Nama armoured vehicles, also in the Nabatea district. Now, the group has also been launching drones at Israel. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that forces are operating deep inside Lebanese territory, essentially fortifying its occupation zone. Now, this is the UN blue line, the boundary that was drawn up after Israel ended its previous 22-year occupation of southern Lebanon in 2000. But on the 18th of April, Israel introduced its own yellow line.
Pause. This is why Esau runs the entire earth. Are you kidding me? There was a United Nations line drawn. Look, they're telling you, we're going to not keep that. We're going to draw our own line, and we're going to do whatever the hell we want. This is why God has to send his son. Men, they have too much power. They can go against an international policy that was set up to protect Lebanon and do it. And there's not any international force that's going to come rescue them. Think about that. All right, play on.
Across the south of Lebanon, and it goes about 10 kilometers from that border. Now, inside, Israeli troops have established positions inside dozens of villages along there with airstrikes and ground attacks, essentially forcing people to flee.
This is the point. Get me what did the United States send in aid to Israel thus far in 2026? They send billions and billions of dollars annually to the Israeli government. So the United States is in a proxy war using Israel with their weapons to accomplish Israel's mission. And the funny thing about it is that Donald Trump made a statement. He said, I can make Netanyahu listen to me, do whatever I want. But in actuality, the commentator was right that I was listening to. He said the other, Netanyahu is literally telling exactly Donald Trump what his next move is. Unfortunate. And a lot of Esau in this country, they see it too. A lot of these, not just Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, a lot of these Edomites are waking up, and they understand that. Yes.
In 2026, the U.S. sent over $4 billion in security-related support to Israel, continuing its 10 years memorandum of understanding commitment.
Now, real quick, and understand that we haven't even finished the 5th month of the fiscal year. So we're not even we're almost halfway through. So it's $4 billion that they're going to tell you about thus far. Okay, but yet we have certain programs where food stamp is getting cut off in this country. People are struggling. People can't find jobs. And we're sending that to a foreign country. That's just in half the year. Okay?
Yeah, that article I read earlier about the munitions, that plays a big role also. They can't replenish the munitions that the U.S. is expending. They're not just expending it because they bombing Iran. They're giving a lot of that to Israel, who was bombing Ukraine. Now they're bombing Lebanon. The U.S., they're depleting a lot of the resources that they have from both ends, monetarily and through the military.
Right. Colonel McGregor made a statement. He said the U.S. military is a shadow of what it once was in the 90s, a shadow. Speaking of the U.S. military, I knew a guy that was in this. I knew a first sergeant that was in this. Number 4, Beirut bombing. So we're going to go back to 1983. 1983, in the Marine Corps, they teach you about this. It was a very solemn day, they teach you, because many Marines died in a place called the Beirut bombing. And from this, number 4, you're going to find out that, and people say, oh, that's not true. Well, yeah, right. Mossad, who is their version of the CIA in Israel, they knew about it, and they didn't warn the U.S. Marine Corps. And it's coming out more and more. And this is why Netanyahu made a statement. He says, we have to get our, he mentioned about how the U.S. is like they get nursed off the U.S. And Netanyahu was saying that we have to wean off the U.S. You know why? They're going to have to soon, because a lot of these Edomites over here, the ones that are waking up to this whole thing, they're not supporting anymore. They're not supporting Israel anymore. And you watch, but God got a plan. Play that. Yes.
Not the distribution of a book that contains some pretty damning information about the Israeli Secret Service, the Mossad, if it is true. Here's ABC's John Martin.
Pause. I want you to notice something. That is a Edomite, a Christian Edomite, and a lot of them are starting to go back with AI and digging up old records. This was 43 years ago in Lebanon, Beirut, Lebanon. That's why I brought it to the show. And look what happened. Play.
The most sensational claim in the book involves this bloody day, the Beirut Marine Barracks bombing. The book says Israeli agents kept vital information from U.S. Marines that might have saved the lives of 241 Americans killed here. Israeli government sources deny this account, but according to the book, an Israeli informant saw a Mercedes truck being fitted with secret panels for explosives. Israeli troops were told to be on the lookout for the truck. But the book says the Israelis intentionally gave the Americans only a vague warning, not mentioning the kind or size of vehicle. The book says Israeli intelligence was willing to let the terrorists succeed to protect their sources and out of contempt for U.S. intelligence. It says agents withheld information on U.S. hostages for similar reasons. In Toronto today, the author was under a court-ordered gag not to discuss the book or the case.
You see, there's two restrictions. There's one restriction that I can't talk about what I learned or have done in the Mossad, and the other restriction...
He was an Israeli Mossad agent. Why would he risk his life and lie? He was in the Mossad. He was one of them. Obviously, has some sort of conscience, quote unquote. He's like, look, this is horrible. The Mossad should have said something. And here's the thing. All that being said, and we still give billions and billions of dollars when they allow Marines, Army, sailors, and government personnel, and U.S. to be killed when they could have prevented that. Why do you think he's putting this video up? More and more of them are paying attention. More and more are paying attention. Okay, play on.
I cannot talk about anything that's in the book.
Israeli officials confirm that Viktor Ostrovsky worked for the Mossad in the 1980s. Alarmed by the contents of the book, they got it temporarily blocked in Canada and the United States.
Wait a minute, hold up. The power of the Jewish lobby has the power, a small country, to get books, public books, blocked from getting published in the United States and Canada? That shows you where the power is. You can burn an American flag, which we don't recommend you do that, and you can criticize the U.S. government all you want. But the second you say something truthful about the Israeli terrorists, that's who they are, you're an anti-Semite, but then they won't even define for you what it means to be an anti-Semite or anti-Shemite from Shem. It is, and a lot of these Edomites are saying, wait a minute. I got cousins who can't get a job. These plants are closing down. And we're sending all this money over. When Esau, you pay attention, Esau is waking up. This is why they said Tucker Carlson. And Edomite is anti-Semitic. It's amazing. Play on.
Israeli government that the information contained in the book could very well lead to the identification of employees of the Mossad and could jeopardize their lives.
But the book's introduction says it does not name active agents and gives only initials. It does say that more than 24 senior Israeli agents routinely gather intelligence in the United States. Late today, the book was put out for sale in New York after the court lifted its restraining order. The publishers claimed victory, but the Israeli embassy said it will still pursue its action against the author.
Think about
John
it.
Martin,
So
ABC.
an Israeli embassy, if you're an embassy, you have You have the opportunity to set up an ambassador for your country in that country. The Israeli embassy has the power to get things blocked in a country that they're visiting. They're not even there. They're like, you have the Chinese ambassador, the Chinese embassy, the Russian embassy. That is who controls the United States government. That's what it is.
Cap, this is how you know. They said they didn't want it published because it would reveal certain Mossad agents. They didn't say don't publish it because it's not true.
Right. Yeah.
And then, I don't know if they called it, they said he just put initials. He didn't put names in there, just initials. They already knew this. But to show how they can control everything, we don't want it going out there at all.
Hey, I know we're going to go ready to break soon, but I want you to get number 7. I'm going to show you that in Lebanon, remember, we go back to Lebanon, they're going to do the same thing that they're doing to Gaza. And what is this chain event going to be? Arabs are going to see it happening throughout all of the areas with the Middle East where the Arabs are located. They're seeing Iran stand up to the big bad wolf. And this is why they're going to draw inspiration from Iran. Now, watch this. These are Caucasian paramedics doing work in parts of southern Lebanon. Watch this.
Sky News follows Lebanon's paramedics as they come under attack from Israeli bombing. Israel has been accused of deliberately targeting ambulances and healthcare workers despite a U.S. brokered ceasefire. Israel denies this, instead accusing the Iran-backed Hezbollah of using medical facilities for military purposes.
Cap, this is the same.
Exactly.
You could just take out, who is it? You could just take out Lebanon and insert Gaza. We literally read this like, what, a couple months ago, and it just said Gaza. They doing the same thing they did to Gaza.
It's amazing because it literally was the same thing, and it was multiple. They killed more medics and rescue workers than in all the other wars in the Middle East combined. It's staggering. And the U.S. does nothing about it. And some of the U.S. personnel is getting killed. Good white American citizens, and you're not going to do nothing about it? Here's a video. It's going to show you some terrible. Cover your kids' eyes at home. Okay, cover their eyes if there's any children. There's going to be some injuries.
We can't hang around here too long because the planes are overhead and likely to hit again.
Pause. Blonde hair. That's a white woman, and she's speaking English. Okay? They don't care. If you are helping the Lebanese, you are part of the problem. They didn't care about 243, many of Marines, Army, sailors. They had intelligence. They could have stopped it. They don't care. Okay? They are the worst of the heathen. The worst of the heathen.
Hey, Cap. Hey, just like they said in Gaza that everybody was Hamas, next thing you know, they're going to be saying everybody in Lebanon is Hezbollah.
Exactly. 100%. And then they'll start targeting hospitals, and they'll watch.
The exact same
Here's the
game
prediction.
plan.
There'll be tunnels now. Now there's going to be tunnels underneath Hezbollah. Like Hamas had all these tunnels.
They're using the hospital for their terrorist headquarters.
Yep.
It's amazing. Esau is the damn devil. Straight the hell up. Y'all watch the rest of that video. It's already 10:45, y'all. Listen. Actually, real quick.
They're going to start hitting reporters, too.
Matter of fact, let that play. Let that play. And we'll close out after this plays.
Go ahead.
We can't hang around here too long because the planes are overhead and likely to hit again. Nabatea is one of the worst hit areas, and it has been for the past few weeks. We've heard of Israeli jets, planes flying over for most of the morning, and we heard a number of big airstrikes just recently, so they're all heading out now to try and find out where it is, what destruction has been caused, and whether there are any civilians who've been caught up in all of this. They deliberately factor in a short delay because they know that they too are targets. But only a few minutes, I would say. And then they're racing now to a recent strike.
Notice
where
the
they're going
press
to see
and the ambulance have to wear tactical military gear and vests and stuff like that. I've never seen paramedics wear vests.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard issue for a combat zone. They wear that stuff.
Now, here's the thing. What isn't standard, now, I hear what you're saying, Akim, but what isn't standard is that I think that this Caucasian reporter thinks that she's immune. But we showed you a video, was it last week? No, not last week. I think it was, maybe I put it, where a white reporter got bombed on camera. Y'all brought it, I was absent. Y'all brought it out. On camera, got knocked, I think he said a swear word too. So they're getting put to the test, and that gear's being tested. And this is what I'm saying. These are not Arab medics. This is why Esau don't care. If you're on the side of their enemy, don't matter if you're the same race, they will kill you. Just like they killed all those Marines and Army personnel and Navy personnel. Get number, I think I need to save the rest of that for, no, I'm sorry. Get number 6. Number 6. And then we're going to go to break, please. Number 6. I believe it's a short video from Sky News. Okay, this is a British perspective.
Sky News. Why Israel is facing a different sort of problem in Lebanon. Hamas has confirmed the leader of its own military wing, Mohammed Odeh, was killed in an Israeli strike on Gaza.
Like Micah just said, all you're going to have to do is replace the word Hamas with Hezbollah. This is what's going to happen. Play on. Read on.
Targeting Mohammed Odeh, who was the recently announced military head of Hamas. He took over from al-Haddad. And Odeh had been in the job 11 days. He was previously the intelligence chief of Hamas. He then becomes the military chief. And the Israelis targeted him, as they will. I mean, anyone knows when they take these jobs, they're not likely to die in their beds peacefully in 10 years' time. They know that there is a target on their back and they're not going to live for very long, but they keep taking the jobs because, you know, Hamas has this ability to regenerate itself, and they take a different sort of view of life and death to the ones that we might take in the West. So this was a targeted attack in Gaza City, going for the new military head of Hamas to try to keep Hamas on the back foot so that they can't reconstitute themselves. And then in Lebanon, the Israelis have got a different sort of problem, because what's been happening is that Hezbollah are using drones, and they're using fiber optic drones of the sort we've seen in Ukraine. Now, they're getting that information and the technology from Iran, who's getting it from Russia.
Pause.
And they're learning.
This is a very important point, because just like Iran, Russia just launched another Orishnik. I don't know if you heard that. Remember that the supersonic missile that goes up with conventional warheads? Hey, Google Orishnik just strikes Ukraine. It just happened within the last 4 or 5 days or sooner. So how does Russia have that power? The Chinese are tech gurus. Remember, we did a show about 4 years ago called China and the Social Credit Score System, where they actually have literally cameras around certain cities of China everywhere, where if you jaywalk, they would show one guy was outside of his restaurant, he threw garbage on the street and then closed the door. They captured his face, charged him, and docked it out of his bank account from the camera. All on the camera. So you think they can do that, but they can't find other places? China has immense technology coupled with Russia. As a result of that, Lebanon's going to be a different character, because you want to know why? Because now they're learning from drone warfare. And now they have those drones. And guess what? Type in, do me a favor. What NATO country has the most drones? And I bet you it says Turkey. Pull up a map of the first map of the Middle East. The very first one you had, please. They had the one I said, hey, it's a good map. It was a real good map that y'all had. It showed everything. Turkey, it showed all of that. Just can you leave the maps open or? All right, well, we're gonna move on. Hey, look, y'all, stick around. We're just getting into it. When we come back for the second half of the show, we're gonna go into how Lebanon is the next Gaza and how all of these series of events are going to register with the Arabs, and they are going to become angry enough they will unite. So stick around, y'all. Precept upon precept. Shalom, y'all.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Why don't you subscribe? IUIC New Orleans, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. Help us to grow. Comment, like, share. What's going on? Make it happen.
Everybody better turn up. See the man, I'm gonna put my cellular. Tell them I just hold on. So bright you can hide up. So bright you like that, just kind of like garment fresh and me try.
Here in Boston, Massachusetts, for the Haitian Flag Day event. We're here to show them that we are Levi and Simeon, and that's the only way we can unite.
You can't do it one of us, but it's 100 of us. Yeah, I'll never fast, but you running from us. And if it's about that smoke, you don't want it from us. Listen everywhere we go. Yeah, I said 12 AK Udi, I got my flame back, but still got chills. Why? The bishop came back. We on A block, you cannot change that. So many of us, y'all don't know what to aim at. I was taught that when you in the water, give them nothing. I was taught discussing way too much and mean he bluffing. We can pull up any time of day and it be nothing. Oh Lord, they warlords, they coming.
As you know, it is the island of Hispaniola. So it is Haiti and the Dominican Republic. We are literally one nation. It's just a division that was created by the colonizers to make you think that there is a difference between the light skin and the dark skin. So it's all about that. We should all support each other because if one part of the island succeeds, the other part will also.
We're here in Boston, Massachusetts, for the Haitian Flag Day event. Well, what are we doing here? We're bringing out the Word of the Most High, campaigning for the Most High, bringing back together the unity of brethren between Simeon and Levi.
What's next? Oh, you wanna kill me? What's next? When you put a knife in my back again. What's next? You think it's over when it's never over. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next?
In a single weekend, 8 campsites established, stretching from Massachusetts to Rhode Island. 2 podcasts recorded. A radio appearance made. A powerful presence in the community. Marching in the Haitian Flag Day Parade. All accomplished in unity and order. The Boston Takeover Blitz, May 2026.
Be strong in the Lord! He's wet! What's next? He's wet! Oh, you wanna kill me? What's next?
praise. Shout out. One, two. Shout out to Officer Mikael. That was a great thumbnail. I don't know if y'all saw that moving thumbnail, but it is, compared to 6 months ago, we have come very, very far. All praise to the Most High. Second half of the show, let's get right into it. Number, was it 4? Did we miss number 4? No, number 5. Pull up number 5. It's an Al Jazeera article. Okay. So the United States is up to all kinds of mayhem. Okay.
Iran war updates. U.S. Iran reach MOU on 60-day truce. Trump yet to approve.
So earlier we showed you the video of one of the fireballs. We showed you that in Lebanon. That's fine.
Here's what happened today. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said Washington and Tehran have made a lot of progress on an agreement to end the war, but Trump is not yet ready to sign a deal. U.S. sources earlier confirmed to Al Jazeera that U.S. and Iranian negotiators have agreed on a framework for a 60-day ceasefire extension deal, but it is awaiting Trump's approval. Iranian President Masoud P. repeated his recent assurances that Iran is not seeking to develop nuclear weapons while blaming regional instability on Israel.
Now, I have to bring this up. Now, I want you to jump down and look into this. Go down to number 12. And Trump, Barack Obama, right? The first so-called, he wasn't an African-American president. He wasn't a black American president, but he was the first so-called man of color as a president. Under Barack Obama's watch, there was something called the JPCOA. We might not be familiar to it. This is going to be interesting as we go into the next video. What is the JPCOA? It should pull up. Did I send it to you? So if you look down,
13, yo.
Come on, man.
13. The video is 13.
So I thought it was 12. It's not 12.
That's the explanation in 12, Cap.
Okay, I sent you the wrong thing. That's my fault. Pull up the JPOC. So that's my fault. Type in JPOC. I sent the wrong link. That's my fault. JPOC, if you just Google it, I thought I sent that. It'll tell you what it was. It was signed in 2015 under Barack Obama. Just a simple there you go. Let's read that. Because this is important because they already did this with trying to get Iran to comply with nuclear weapons over 10 years ago. Play this. Read this.
The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, widely known as the Iran nuclear deal, was a landmark 2015 diplomatic agreement between Iran and the P5+1, U.S., UK, France, Russia, China, and Germany.
Now, mind you, that several of those countries, namely Iran, became part of BRICS. Iran later on became part of BRICS. During the time of that 2015, Russia and China were already in the beginning or mid stages of BRICS. Iran, since now, is a partner nation with BRICS. So a lot has happened in 11 years. Play on.
It restricted Iran's nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief, but functionally dissolved following the U.S. withdrawal in 2018 and Iran's subsequent breaches of its limits.
Now we're going to dig. Get me the one on Judge. I have a timestamp. Because something happened after the Shah of Iran. Something happened. What in 2015 were they getting the sanctions lifted off of? Esau is a bona fide international thief. Pull up. It's a law professor. He's on Judge. I believe it's timestamp right there. It's the only timestamp. Check that out. Yep, you see it.
Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Tuesday, May 26, 2026. My longtime friend and collaborator, Larry Johnson, joins us now. Larry.
So real quick, I did a little bit about Larry Johnson. He looks like he's a old retired Don Johnson's uncle. But Miami Vice plug. He's in order to be a legal scholar. What do you have to know? He knows the law. And he also wrote some books. So this guy, don't let the appearance fool you. He's going to bring some history about Iran, which I had heard it, but I needed to be brought back up to speed because the U.S. has been trying to do this ever since they got the Shah out and they had the Iran Revolution. I think it was 1979. Watch this.
A pleasure as always. I want to talk to you about Trump and the control that the Zionist lobby has over him. But before we get to that, a couple of significant military events over the weekend. How significant was the U.S. Attack on Iranian speedboats, which killed some Revolutionary Guard sailors?
Yeah, the situation's deteriorating. I
got to say it. So Officer Michael brought up a point earlier. They're supposed to be in a ceasefire, right? This was 3 days ago. The U.S. attacked Iranian speedboats. Does that not by default break the ceasefire or break the peace treaty? Esau, it, like Akim said earlier, it is literally the Psalms 55. They literally, Iran was at peace from a little bit. They break it. They break everything. Play.
The entire ceasefire, which went into effect roughly April 15th. I mean, the initial phase was April 7th, but April 15th brought in Lebanon as well. That was one of the demands of Iran. Well, that's out the window. Israel's on full-blown attack now against targets in Iran, and they're gonna level southern Lebanon if they can. So then this.
So Paul, that's why we showed you. Hence the name of the title. Lebanon, the next Gaza. They are going to do the same thing as the Lord allows them in Lebanon. You want to know why? Because if they did it in Gaza, then they do it in Lebanon. The Lebanese it's an old country. Beirut is a huge city. There's a coastal city. They have a commerce. They have a government. They have a military. They have all of that. It's going to enrage the rest of the Arab world. First, you kill all these hundreds of thousands of people, and we saw these father piecing it together. Now you're doing the same thing to Lebanon. It has to be a straw in the proverbial camel's back that has to break for all these Arabs to come out as one. It has to happen. They're going to destroy it. Okay, and Esau, they hate this guy. This guy, Tucker Carlson, Scott Ritter, Candace Owen, anybody that tells the truth on what they're actually doing, they get labeled as anti-Semitic and whatever the case may be. But this guy's a friggin' legal analyst. Play.
Back and forth yesterday with Iran and the United States. It's not an isolated incident. The United States is continuing to run active.
Wait a minute. I have to say this too. I'm surprised one of y'all didn't catch me. If you're in the CIA, that stands for Central Intelligence, if his job was an intel analyst, meaning he was in the rooms when the intelligence came in and he had to analyze all of that, the reports that he worked with Mossad, he worked with all of that. If you're a CIA intel, former, and then he became a legal analyst. So this guy is the CIA agent, former. He knows what he's talking about. Anytime, that's what the guy in 1983, it was a Mossad agent who came clean and said, look, they knew about it. I was in Mossad. This is what they do. He's telling on them. Play?
Cap,
Bring it out,
to
please.
that point, he said it early on. He said the ceasefire agreement. I don't think people caught it what he said. The ceasefire agreement, that goes for all the Arabs. It's out the window. It's out the window because those countries right now, they watch Gaza. They see what's going on in Lebanon. In their minds right now, they're thinking, am I next? And I don't want to hear anything any kind of agreement that you have to offer with the U.S. The U.S. they have broken the plate. They burnt bridges with everybody. That's why he said that ceasefire, it's out the window. You can't go to a country now and say, hey, I want to make a deal. Nobody want to deal with you. Nobody want to touch you.
Type in Saudi Arabia princess net worth. That's all I want you to get. Type in Saudi Arabia crown princess net worth. The reason why Saudi Arabia, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and these countries of the GCC, the only reason why is because the people that have been empowered to stay in power are, when I say billion, some may be trillionaires. Read that. Yeah, see? Read that.
The House of Saud, the Saudi royal family, has an estimated collective net worth of approximately $1.4 trillion.
So do me a favor. We black, man. We gotta break this down. Type, what would be the interest on $1.4 trillion if you left it in the bank at 5% interest? That's a relatively moderate interest rate. What would be the interest if I put my money, just say $1 trillion, $1 trillion. What is the interest on $1 trillion if it's in the bank at 5%? I want you to understand how vastly, supremely rich that these Arab crown princes, and by the way, they're in United Arab Emirates, they're in Kuwait. They are the ultra privileged and elite.
Investing $1 trillion at a 5% annual interest rate would earn you $50 billion in interest each year.
Watch this. What was the economy last year of the country Chad? I'm just pulling an arbitrary country. What was the GDP of the country of Chad in Africa last year? I'm showing you, I'm going to prove to you that the interest that they could put on some of their money is more than an entire country's economy. This is why they don't want to give it up. This is why they want to work hand in hand with these United States. Look at this.
Chad's gross domestic product in 2025 stands at an estimated nominal value of roughly $14 billion.
So, in the purchasing power 65. Do me a favor. Type in what is the GDP of Jamaica. One family, the power that they have with some of them, a little bit of their money. What was the GDP of Jamaica last year?
You got to remove Chad. You still got Chad up there.
Well, I wanted to sink in the level of power financially. And that's one Arab Saudi family. That's not all of them together. You got the same Arab families in Kuwait, in United Arab Emirates, in Bahrain, in Qatar. Those are the people that are dictating policy and allowing the U.S. to build their bases there. The Arabs of that land do not speak the same thing as these crown princes do. What is the GDP of Jamaica?
Jamaica's nominal GDP for 2025 was approximately $20 billion.
The entire country of Jamaica does not even have the purchasing power. If the Saudi family would invest their money and just earn 5% in 1 year, that's the level. They have more buying power with some of their money that they could put in interest than entire countries' GDP. That should put in perspective how much money these rich Arabs actually have. Go back to that. Y'all got to see. And don't you think about all the Kuwaitis, all of the Bahrainis, all of the Iraqis, the people from Jordan, the people from Saudi Arabia, very few people in that Arab land of Saudi Arabia have the power and money like these elite families. Many of them are nomad. Many of them live a very base life, right? Not to put them down. Many of them live low, comparatively speaking, to these Arab princes. Okay?
Hey, Cap, you really got to think about it.
Bring it up.
Just off their interest alone, that one family can buy Jamaica twice and still have $10 million left over, or $10 billion.
$10 billion.
$10 billion left over.
Let's think about that. Now, and remember, Officer Mikhail, that is the Saudi crown prince family. Remember.
That's crazy.
Do me a favor. No, I'm not going to go there. Just understand that when they say 1.4 trillion, that's one Saudi family. There's in all these GCC countries, you have Qatar. Pull up the map again. The first map you did was perfect. It showed you the Persian Gulf. It showed you United Arab Emirates. Blow that up. Look. So, you know what's amazing? The Sudan, which is literally across the Red Sea from Saudi Arabia, there are people that are dying, millions, hundreds of thousands of people are dying. Ethiopia, Somalia. But yet the Saudis have elite people that are worth trillions. The Iraqis Iraq is a huge country, right? Saudi is much bigger. Jordan is Arab. They have some elite families there. Syria, same thing with Kuwait, particularly around the Persian Gulf, which is United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, Qatar, Bahrain, and that whole coastline across from Iran is nothing but desert. They have to have desalination plants to get their water. And that right there is controlled by so very, very, very few rich Arab implants. And what's going to happen is when the Arab people see the Lebanon as the next Gaza, something is going to register in their minds. I'm talking about Arabs all over the world, but particularly here. They are going to say enough is enough, all right? Hey, and maybe some of these rich Saudi families may remember, well, my great-grandfather was a poor man. He told me all these stories, blah, 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 blah. But I doubt that. But they're going to rise up. And when they rise up, then after that, Iran, they're going to rise up and join the battle with them and waste the land of Assyria, okay? We've got about a half hour. Go back, read on, or play on. Where was it at?
Active aerial patrols up and down this window. Israel's on full-blown attack now against targets in Iran, and they're gonna level southern Iran southern Lebanon if they can. So then this back and forth yesterday with Iran and the United States, it's not an isolated incident. The United States is continuing to run active aerial patrols up and down the Strait of Hormuz, and so I think it's just a matter of time before it breaks out into the full-blown conflict, probably by the end of this week.
So when Trump says or Rubio says we're close to a deal, is this one of those, well, let's manipulate the markets and make some money?
Yeah, no, it's exactly what it is. This is Iran's positions are very clear. Again, this is like dealing with the Russian. What is the Russian position on ceasefire? Iran has stipulated unfreeze frozen assets.
Stop.
That's number one.
When it said unfreeze frozen assets, remember we're going to go back to that in a minute. When did Iran get their assets frozen? Remember how the European Union froze $200 billion of Russia's assets? That's been talked about the last 4 years of the Ukraine-Russia war. Something happened with them in 2015 when Obama, from decades before, that their assets, they wanted it unfrozen. Okay? Play on.
And, people need to understand a lot of those frozen assets came from weapons purchases that the Shah made in his last year that was owed to Iran. And then when the Islamic Republic was established, the United States refused.
Stop typing this, please. When was the Iranian Islamic Republic established? I want to say 80 or 1979. That's when they overthrew the Shah. There was an Iranian revolution. It was all over the news. When did the Iranian, what did I just say? What have I just said?
The Iranian Republic.
Yes.
When was it formed?
Right. Just it's a quick search. It's not deep. It's not deep. It should be the late 70s. I'm going to show you something. Okay. So it was April 1st, 1979, when they got the Shah out. The Shah was a U.S. implant. As soon as he went out, guess what? So they have had assets and funds that were frozen since 1979. That's why in 2015 under Obama, they wanted that money back. The U.S. is the U.S. is a tyrannical, horrible, oppressive colonizer. Okay? Go back, finish up the time.
To fulfill the deal, but they kept the money. Okay.
Those frozen assets go that far back?
Oh yeah. Iran was Saudi Arabia before Saudi Arabia was Saudi Arabia. By that I mean the major purchaser of U.S. weaponry. Billions of dollars. So I've used the example. It's like you give me $250,000 for a Lamborghini, and then I don't like your politics, and I say, well, I'm not giving you the Lamborghini, but I'm keeping your $250,000. That's where a large portion of these frozen assets came from.
So pause. I want to share something. You know how they say that after the Iraq War, Iran started paying attention and they fortified all those bunkers, right? That's BS. They started building that stuff back in the early 80s because they knew what the U.S. was about. They've been building them bunkers and them underground tunnels for over 60 years. Not 60 years. It'd be 20 plus, over 40. Over 40 years they've been preparing for this war against America. It has not been 20. It's been over 40. It's been since the late 70s, early 80s that they've been preparing for this. Okay? And this is why he's bringing this up. Play on.
So you got the frozen assets. Second is immediate sanction relief. The United States keeps talking about, we'll see if you comply with the agreement. Iran's been down that road before with the JCPOA. They signed on. People, they keep being told that was such a terrible deal. That is a lie. It's just a blatant lie by Trump and those around him. People should go back and read that agreement. It was very detailed, very precise, and in fact, pretty onerous as far as it was the requirements levied upon Iran. But then they were promised sanction relief, which never.
Pause. Give me number 13. So this is the guy that was behind creating that JP something OC.
COA.
JPCOA. In 2015, it was under the Barack Obama administration, 2015. Guess what the first thing Trump did when he got in office his first term? 86'd it. Listen, these so-called Jewish had a hand in what Trump was doing in his first term, but they did it behind the scenes. It wasn't as up in your face. Was not as up in your face. Get me number 13. It's a short video.
President right now.
With Iran specifically,
Yes.
what you have to do is just accept the reality that they're not going to capitulate to your demands, and continuing this war is going to tank the entire global
Stop.
economy.
I want you to rewind it, and I want you to stop when it shows the Arab at his desk. I mean the and Carmanian, and I want you to look. There's a picture above him with 3 men. Pay attention.
Right now.
With Iran specifically,
Yes.
what you have to do is just accept the reality that they're not going to capitulate to your demands.
Pause. Right there. Iran does not forget. See that guy in the middle? Remember how they killed him and he was in his house?
Khomeini.
He wanted to die in his house because he knew that and that's when the Iranians really banded together, because he wanted to die. He wanted the people to rally around his death. And then the guy on the right, I believe, is his son. That's the current alleged supreme leader. The guy on the left, I forget who he is. He was a leader, a reverence leader. I forget who. I think Captain Matt brought. I think he was the guy that they killed.
I want to say that's Soleimani, but
it may be. Well, think about it. They got a picture of this guy right behind him. These are three of the most important men, and guess what? Two of them are dead. They do not forget things. Okay, these Carmanians are waiting for the Arabs to stand the hell up. And we just read that in 2 Ezra 15, verse 28, 29. They are waiting. Okay, play on.
And continuing this war is going to tank the entire global economy. And so what you do is you take a deal where they're going to get a significant amount of revenue. You give them sanctions relief in exchange for them opening the Strait of Hormuz, shipping their highly enriched uranium, that's their stockpiled nuclear material, out of the country, and submitting to inspections of all their nuclear facilities, and you call it a day.
They did that in 2015, and they passed all the inspections. But still, the U.S., Trump tore it up, and now, just like Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, even though they complied with the inspections of the nuclear, alleged nuclear policies, they still dishonored that. And Iran did everything they asked of them. Because remember, I don't know if you, a month ago or so, Professor Xi said that the reason why they're fighting this war is because they're losing control of the petrodollar. And without the petrodollar, the U.S. economy is going to go down. This is why they can't let it go. This is why they're doing, this is why they, and by the way, when they took Maduro, kidnapped, they didn't do it to hurt Venezuela. They understood that China, if you weaken China, you can weaken Russia. That's the number one place, Venezuela and Iran, is where China gets the oil. It's a long play. They need to control the petrodollar to control the world economy. They need to fight with China. So how do they fight with China? They can't win an all-out war with them because it would be a nuclear annihilation. So you hurt them where they need the energy. You attack Venezuela, you did what Trump did, and then you do the same thing to Iran. That's why they're doing it. And all this is that God has got them all in a bag of tricks, and He's gonna show us. Play on. We almost done.
That sounds like the Iran nuclear deal I worked on, because that's the best you're going to get from them.
Pause. Do you think that was the guy, not the guy with glasses? That other guy was the guy in 2015 that worked on the JP, whatever it was. What is it called?
JPCOA.
That's the author of it. And now Trump and them are back to square one after going through all of that. He's asking them, do you think we can get that back again? You can't, listen, there is a God in heaven, because these people are so powerfully stupid. Donald Trump was able to, God's making it happen. Think about it. If they had just shut the hell up and stuck to that, the economy would be going. But God, just like He did with Pharaoh, hardened his heart. God hardened Trump's heart, allowed the Israelis to destroy Gaza. Then He's going to have them destroy southern Lebanon. He's going to mess with a bunch of other Arabs to fulfill the prophecy that Ezra, our forefather, wrote about. It has to happen. In order for the Carmanians to come out and join the Arabs in battle, the dragons of Arabia, something has to happen. This is why you're seeing it. Play on.
He can even get that.
He can get it. Here's what I think is the hang up. The Iranians want the money on the front end of the deal.
Yeah.
And it feels like Trump is trying to sequence this thing to push that as far back as possible so that when it happens, people's attentions have shifted. But because they're sitting in the catbird seat, because they know they have the leverage, because they don't give a shit about what happens to their people, they can withstand pain. And so you got to front load that sanctions relief to open up that strait and potentially unlock that nuclear deal.
Keep that in mind. I know it's getting late, y'all. Keep that in mind. Go to the next one. I think it's go up to 11 of the next one that we did not get to. We almost done. We did 11. Okay, get me. Yes, I want the Abraham Accords. Because Donald Trump recently mentioned something about part of the deal is going to be the Abraham's Accord. Nope, don't do that. Get me. Iran is negotiating on fumes. Oman will blow them up. It's a short video from YouTube. I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at saved. Hang on, let me go back to that. Y'all say something.
Hey, get that map again. Get that map. Because there's a Cap, he said it, that Strait of Hormuz, I think we touched on in one of those shows where China, they do a lot of their shipping. You can draw it in just a little bit, like further towards the east. It's a little area that China is shipping around, and they gonna get caught up in a lot of this heat. Not that one. Back it up just a little bit. We need to go further towards Iran. You got one going further towards Iran? We touched on it. Nah, that's too big. Drop it. Get the other map. It's a little strait that China, it's like it said, there's a large percentage of they shipping comes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, zoom in on that one. Mm-hmm. Where they have to come around, like right through there, like come around China, come through Indonesia, right through there, Singapore. It's a little area right in between there by the Philippines. They come through there, and if they not careful, coming through India, right through that area right there, they're gonna get caught up too. They're gonna get caught up.
Hey, and that's one of the that area that goes near Singapore. If you look where Indonesia's at, if you look where Cambodia, see that? Yep, Malaysia. That's one of the busiest. You have to go by Singapore, and that right there, I think that's the South China Sea or something like that. Bay of Bengal, South Country. To Officer Micah's point, Esau is everywhere. He wants to control that. He wants to control the Strait of Bab el-Habeb, the Strait of Hormuz. He wants to control. Create a new Suez Canal. He wants to control the Strait of Gibraltar, which is in the Mediterranean Sea. All these points, he has to control that. Okay, this is why the petrodollar is such a big deal if he loses that. Give me the Abraham's Accord, which I believe is number
9.
Help me out, man. Come on, man.
Number 9?
Number 9, right. It says it right there. Abraham Accords. Number 9. It's an article. Trump just mentioned that part of the deal now has to be the Abraham Accords. Bishop Nathaniel taught a really good class, I want to say like last year, about it, months ago. And he went all into the Abraham Accords. Remember the three-phase Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, right? But all of it, the plot is to be subservient to Jewish Zionism. That's what it's all about. We're going to read that.
Trump links Abraham Accords to any Iran deal. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday that he asked Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and Jordan to join the Abraham Accords en masse to normalize relations with Israel as he tries to negotiate an agreement to end the war with Iran.
You do realize the following countries, irregardless of their race, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and Jordan, they are all Muslim. Even though the Turks and the Pakistani are Turks are different, and Elam is the Pakistanis, and the Arabs are the rest of them, they all have, those are the countries they want to be aligned with Israel, to be in understanding with Israel, okay? Keep that in mind. And who's brokering it? The United States is brokering the Abraham Accords, not Israel. The United States is doing it for Israel. Play on. Read on.
Pakistan rejected the proposal.
But Elam said, no, brother. We don't, no. We like our, they got some Christians in Pakistan, but majority is Islam. Read on.
None of the other countries has so far publicly reacted to Trump's demand.
You know why Pakistan can reject it and not worry about it? Because they got nuclear weapons. Pakistan is nothing to be played with. Okay, read on.
Positive response was unlikely when the public mistrust of Israel in these Muslim nations remains high over the scale of its military offensive in Gaza.
Because I don't know if you remember, those of you who all watch us online, right? We showed you Constantinople, Istanbul, Turkey. It was a Muslim rally, and Erdogan was going in on Israel, talking about how they're evil, and chanting in Muslim about free Palestinian. That's a Islam nation, Muslim nation. Same thing with these other look, Pakistan is a Muslim nation. It says it right there. They don't trust Israel as far. The only reason why they have any type of position is because of the United States of America. That's the only reason why. Okay? Now, that's prophetic in Jeremiah 49, when it says the least of the flock shall draw them out. And that's what's going to happen. Read on.
Trump said he spoke on Saturday to leaders of those countries, as well as the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain.
Right. That's the ones we showed you, that small island of Bahrain where the sixth naval fleet is. I might get the name of 6th or the 10th fleet. And that's where the United Arab Emirates, that's where all the oil money is going to build those huge escape cities like Abu Dhabi and Dubai, where you see Andrew Tate, all these rich and famous people go. That is the new London. That's the new New York City. That's the big city of the Persian Gulf. Play on.
The United Arab Emirates and Bahrain, which have already signed the accords, a set of agreements to normalize relations with Israel. I am mandatorily requesting that all countries immediately sign the Abraham Accords, and that if Iran signs its agreement with me as President of the United States of America, it will be an honor to have them also be a part of this unparalleled world coalition.
Where did it say mandatorily volunteer? What did it say?
I am mandatorily requesting.
Think about that. That's a polite way to bully somebody. I am mandatorily requesting. This is how the pomp and the arrogancy of the United States of America. God has got his hand on Donald Trump's heart right now. Get me Romans 9. Get me Romans 9. The same thing, I can imagine a room in Pharaoh. All the plagues just hit. They let these people go, and now Pharaoh's like sitting in the room all angry. And his governors are like, wait, Israel, those are the people of God. Those miracles, the frogs, the lice, yeah. And then all of a sudden, he's like, get the chariots. We're going after him. I want you to imagine the people in the room. You ever notice the people around Trump, the way they kind of look at him sometimes? Like, I don't believe this guy's doing that. I can't say nothing because I don't want to lose my job. God has got his hand all up in Donald Trump's heart. Read Romans 9.
Romans chapter 9, verse 17.
This is why Paul said, whatsoever thing is written for aforetime. We're going to read about what Paul was referencing to Pharaoh. Read.
For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up.
Just like, because Donald Trump is the modern day Pharaoh today. Just like God raised up the ancient Pharaoh, read.
That I might show my power in thee.
He went and how did he show his power? When the 12 tribes of Israel were passing through the sea to get the hell out. We got to see his army wasn't no little punks. They had all kind of horses and chariots, and they was tough. They had us in slavery for 400 years. They had power and authority militarily. We saw. Can you imagine looking down? You was a slave working your whole life in misery. You get delivered. You saw the plagues. You got spared. Your firstborn didn't, the blood on the post, and you turn back and you see the Red Sea close up, and you see them get destroyed. That's the power that God, and you got to imagine, all of his generals and captains in the army were like, he's the command. We got to listen to this. This guy's crazy. What is he doing? We already got defeated. Now we got to go through the sea. This is what, you got to see what's going on. there's a lot of generals, captains, majors, colonels, lieutenant colonels are like, this guy's going to get us all killed. And that's exactly what's going to happen. God has to harden this guy's heart. In 2015, Obama had a deal with Iran that they inspected a nuclear weapon program. They passed everything. Why would he, as soon as he gets in office, shut it down? Then he goes through all his stuff, his court. Remember, he did his first term. They tried to impeach him. He went through all the years of court. We thought he was going to go to jail for sure. All these felony charges. Then he gets shot, attempt of his life. All this stuff. He comes back. He becomes president of the United States. And now, within the first year or so, literally, the greatest global crisis of the world economy since 1970. Right now, there are people that cannot get fuel. We ain't seen it yet. It's coming. God is touching Donald Trump's mind. And sometimes he'll use people to say certain things to influence him, but that's God using the thoughts of men. All right? Read on. Almost done.
Even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee.
That he might show his power in thee. Read on.
And that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Because right now, his name is going to be declared throughout the earth when they see the 12 tribes of Israel put in their right place. Then the nations are going to say, they didn't have nuclear weapons. They didn't have their own army. We oppressed them. We marginalized them. We used them for all the low-laying jobs. This is the people, and they are going to praise our God. They're going to be shocked. So he has to do that. Okay, Pakistan, the Elamites, they have an army. East Indians have an army. The Russians have an army. All of that. We have nothing. That's why he's going to use the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. That's what Paul said in Corinthians. Read on. Almost done.
Verse 18, therefore had he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will, he hardeneth.
Right. And he hardened the hell out of Donald Trump right now. Donald Trump, some of his business executives right now are like, we know Trump from the board meetings, but he's going too far this time. And this is what's going to happen. So get me that one where he says, did you get that one that says, Micah may have brought it out. He says, if the Oman doesn't cooperate, we're going to blow him up. It is, I got to get that. It's going to be the last thing.
Hey, real quick. Can y'all get the definition of mandatorily?
Yeah.
Get that definition. Just type it right in and let AI go explain to you exactly what that word means. Because some of my people, I like to look words up. Read that real quick.
Mandatorily definition. Mandatorily is an adverb that means something must be done or cannot be evaded.
Read on.
It describes actions that are required by rule, law, or authority.
Come on.
Leaving no room for personal choice or optional participation.
To the scripture Cap just brought out, he ain't asking. He's telling you by his authority, y'all gonna do this. Abraham Accords, he's telling you it's not optional. You're gonna do it.
Get number 10. We're gonna close out with this. There's an overview of the Abraham Accords. The reason why they're doing this, it has to be, I want you to understand something. The Abraham Accords uses the big three, the three faiths of Abraham. Alleged. This is what the modern world calls it. You have Judaism, which is actually us. We're the real Jews. All right. Then you have Christianity. Then you have Islam. Those are the three faiths that they say come from Abraham. Now, all of that is not to cater to Islam. It damn sure ain't to cater to the Christians. It's all to cater to them so they can do what they want in that region. This is why the IDF wears a patch on their uniforms that shows the Greater Israel Project from the river to the sea. That's a patch they have. That's why their public officials talk about if they had a button, they'd bomb and destroy all of Palestine in one button. You got people saying that right now on Israeli television and around, saying that if they could kill all Arabs in Palestine, they would do it. That is the consensus for much of the not all of them. Much of the population believes that. Okay, we'll get that.
The Abraham Accords are a series of landmark U.S. brokered agreements signed in 2020 that normalize diplomatic, economic, and security relations between Israel and several Arab nations.
Now, remember, it said also that they asked Turkey, they asked other Pakistan. They're not Arab nations, but they're Islamic nations. They want to get everybody on thinking the same, on the same. Let's see if we get this. Let's see if anybody gets this right now. Why would they want to get them all on the same economic relationship between Israel and that region? I said something earlier. There's a reason why.
They don't want to lose that petrodollar.
You're right. That's true. But once they decide that Gaza's prime and they begin to dig that canal, and I believe they will, guess what? All the money is going to go through Israel in that region. And I believe that, I don't know if they're going to get it developed, but that's going to be, because so far, you kill all those people in Gaza and get it. You're going to kill the people in Lebanon. It's going to give them a little bit more. I'm talking about the Arabs. Going to get a little bit more mad. What's going to get these Arabs like, that's it, no more? It has to be something. These Abraham Accords, there's something in it. There's the thought, the language. Get on the same economic plane. So if they create that strait and then they open it, all those ships that go through the Suez Canal have to now are going to be controlled by Israel. That's why they're beefing so much about the Strait of Hormuz, because Iran controls it right now. Read on. We almost done. This is the last verb.
They marked a historic shift in the Middle East, breaking a long-standing consensus that Arab states would not officially recognize Israel until the Palestinian conflict was resolved.
They want to be able to do what they want to do and still take these Arabs out and get their land. They want all of these people to sign it. That's why they want Pakistan and Turkey and other countries to do. So I want you all to look at the Abraham Bishop. As a matter of fact, Bishop taught a class years ago about that. Look at the Abraham Accords. Pay attention to what's going on in the news. Pay attention to the fact that Trump is saying he holds the cards. He does not hold the card. Put the thumbnail back up. We're getting ready. It's late, y'all. It's almost midnight, 1 o'clock back home. Lebanon, the new Gaza. Arab anger amasses because it's not built up to the point where they're going to stand yet. Lebanon's going to get destroyed and bombarded. Other things are going to happen. You're going to see it. And eventually these Arabs are going to continue to unite. Then Iran's going to come out. And I pray the Lord that in that day we get to see it. I pray we're here. We get to see it. And in that time, we got to get right, because we all got things we going through. Patience. Some of you is getting drunk still. Some of you is you're losing faith. Some of you is Big Butt Betty and you can't keep in your pants, and you're committing fornication. Some of you it's drugs. Okay, some of you it's fighting, punching your wife, choking your wife. Okay, we are running out of time, y'all. We got to get right. It's 11:45, y'all. We got exactly 2 hours. Beautiful. We beat time. Before we sign off, Officer Micah is pointing down to something that is very powerful. The Booster Club allowed us to go to all these missions in African countries, Indonesian countries, Polynesian countries, India, South America, many places where we got to teach the gospel, and it's because of y'all. The Spirit that the Most High gave y'all, men, women. Some of y'all don't even go to a congregation. You might live 4 or 5 hours away. Some of you are older and maybe not mobile, but yet you still give because you believe that the leadership at IUIC, we are stewards of the Word of God, and we are going to wake His people up. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You can text GIVE to 646-982-3858, or if you're technologically savvy, go ahead and click that PayPal and donate as the Lord moves your spirit, as the Most High moves your spirit. So perfect time tonight, y'all. Thanks for sticking around. We're Precept Upon Precept. I'm Captain Shem, y'all.
Officer Micah.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Akiem.
Hey, with that, brothers and sisters, we say
Shalom.
You're never going to see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need. Can't never forget. Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees. I never forget. Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed. And they gotta get it. Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
You're now tuned in to Precept Upon Precept.
Crew so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression never kill 'em.